As you may have noticed, there are a lot of hidden or buried options within the Procreate tool menus, and Transform has some really helpful options to adjust not just the proportions, but also the perspective of how an object appears to the eye. So let's use that to make some slight changes to our lagoon. Make sure first that you're selected on the right layer, and then tap the Transform arrow. And now this time, I'm not going to leave it on uniform. We're going to switch to distort. This will allow you to skew and shear and otherwise manipulate the object. Distort can be really useful for changing the perspective of an object. By pulling the corners in or out, you can make things look more dimensional or like they're receding into the horizon. You can also use warp to further manipulate objects. This creates a mesh grid over the layer contents, and you can grab and pull not just the nodes, but anywhere on the mesh to fold, expand, or squish it, almost like it's a layer of fabric. There's also an advanced mesh option, which adds extra nodes at every intersection of the grid, giving you more fine-tuned control. I like to use warp for things like this, where I'm trying to move part of an object while maintaining the dimensions of another part of it. If your artwork is looking blurry or pixelated when you use the Transform tool, you might need to adjust your interpolation settings. On the Transform toolbar, you can access the interpolation settings by tapping on this checkerboard circle. Interpolation refers to how the pixels on the screen render when using the Transform tool to resize something. This isn't always noticeable, but when you're resizing something multiple times, or if you're using Distort or Warp to stretch and move the object in more pronounced ways, it can really become more apparent. Essentially, when resizing something, the app has to render the image at the new size while maintaining accuracy of what you originally drew. On the nearest neighbor setting, which is the default setting on the app, it will render a more crisp edge, but sometimes this ends up looking jagged and pixelated. On the bilinear and bicubic settings, it will slightly feather the edges for a smooth and clean result, which sometimes can make the edge look too blurry, especially when using bicubic. I find that bilinear is a nice compromise for most things, though it depends on the project. For example, when doing pixel art, you'll want to use nearest neighbor for better results. All right, now I'm done with my warp. So I'm going to tap to open my layers panel. That automatically closes the Transform tool. And now I want my lagoon layer to actually sit beneath both of my mountain layers. To do that, I'm going to tap on this layer and drag it down below my mountain layers and then release. Now that it's down here, I can see how not quite centered it is. So we're just going to grab the Transform tool once more, and then I can't actually reposition while in the Warp tool. I have to be in one of these other three options. So I'm just going to drag it and then release. The last thing I want to do on this layer is add in some extra puddles to the sides of the lagoon. So using the monoline brush still, I'm drawing in these wavy little ovals, making sure that they are still fully closed shapes. If you'd like to use the quick shape function, you can keep your pencil touching to the screen until you see it snap into an ellipse. What I'm going for is more of an organic look here, so I'll undo that so I can then draw in these weird little bean-shaped puddles instead. And then I'm going to color drop to fill this, and I'm going to tap continue filling to use color drop to then be able to just tap to fill each of these shapes in. Next, let's recolor this lagoon layer to the original light purple color.